Turns. Ama trying to take it back. He can't do it. And he's on the inside. Oh! He really wants it. Nudging and nudging and nudging. And Frost takes one too. And Frost wants another. Kiki trying to find his first in the RVEC. He's on the inside. He can't find it. Oh, Airtsu going on the outside. It is easy to wreck when you go for that. It's a time for racing. G-Force tries to find it. Ooh,
the wall ride. What will they do? Nick, far on the inside.
And once again, Singh managed to put on a challenge, and Fam wins the championship.
What is up, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. I see the chat is already popping off. How y'all doing? This is the Revolt Endurance Championship Season 5, Week 2. We're going to be headed to Port Limao 2. Today, I've got with me the one and only Pokers. How we doing, Pokers?
Hello, everyone. I'm super happy to be here. I'm excited
Yes.
for the second week.
The first week started off with some fireworks, but before we get into that, let's go ahead and show the track preview that you have so graciously prepared for us. Let's watch that first. Be back in 2 minutes, y'all. Okay, so that was our track overview. I want to get a little bit more into detail in that in just a moment. But for now, as you can see on the screen, we've got the results from the first week of RVEC Season 5. That was on Museum 2 at Talk to Me Pokers. Was there anything, what was the highlight of this match? For anything that stood out to you, etc., etc.? Talk to me.
So Stingox was in the first position, first starting position for the Museum 2 race, and Famous was was DC during the qualifiers for the starting grid position, so he was placed last.
Yeah.
But as you can see on the screen, Famous is first, as ended first in the race. So he climbed up all the 14 positions till first for the whole race.
Yeah.
And even to the last lap, it was very close with Stingox with the second place to take the second place. And on the very narrow cut, there were mistakes, and Famous stand out and took first place.
Absolutely right. Yeah, that ending was insane. Up before the cut, that infamous Museum 2 cut, Famous actually had a minor accident which let Sting get the cut while Famous had to go on the outside, but the cut was bungled just a bit, and Famous going on the outside actually got him the win. It really came down to the wire. It was anyone's match. Stingox did have a moment where he was 100 meters ahead of the competition, but he eventually lost that due to some mistakes. Kiki was right up there in the mix as well. Easily could have gotten first place that match. Nick, also huge shout out to him, clawing his way up to fourth place by the end of that. Makakowski as well, standout performance from him, fifth place. G-Force, we saw him back, but he made his way all the way up to fifth, or rather sixth. Now, for those who missed it, the driver of the day was Famous. It was almost unanimous, just about as close as unanimous as you can get. So we can take a quick look at the overall standings. 25 points for Famous, 21 for Sting. That's 20 plus 1 for the best lap, 1 point. And Kiki in the podium with 16. Okay, so we should be headed into our live match, the qualifier, that is. And we can begin to talk more about Port Limano 2, which is this week's track, during the qualifier. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, about Port Limao 2, of course, we have... it's not as crazy as Museum 2. Maybe it's a bit more technical overall, but the only thing that might cause the racers to crash is the very first turn. You have to wallbang through a down road.
Yep.
And maybe you can turn around. You can have a G-turn that's not planned at all.
Absolutely. We have seen.
Other than that,
you go ahead.
Yes.
You go ahead.
Other than that, on the stone, I think the car behaves a bit differently, so it might get some trouble here. And the park section with this, which is a bit slippery.
That's another great point. We actually saw a discussion in the Revolt competitive Discord leading up to the match about that stone surface. It is a bit of a standout surface. We're not really going to see it anymore for the rest of RVEC after this week. So it is kind of going to be an oddball surface. And then absolutely, like you said, the wall bang can lose so much time during the wall bang. And also, if you want to get the pace, you've got to have that wall bang perfected is another point. So we can see a lot of time may perhaps gradually lost by players taking it safe through that area, or a lot of time lost by just one slip up on it that causes, like you said, a 180 spin out or something like that. This is also, there's some narrow points in this track, right? Like when you do it.
There's a narrow point just before the U-turn on the boat. You have a needle wall bang on the box when you have to wallbang perfectly, so you have the angle. It's very complicated and it gain not that much time, but we can see this now point taken by him by that. Sorry.
Yeah,
Other than that, you just slow down a bit, so you get let the gas off a bit. And
exactly.
it works.
So in today's lobby, so far we've got Syrup King with the gifted sub. Shout out to Syrup King. Welcome in, crew. Maddie07 getting that sub. Cheers, buddy. As for our you go ahead. Sorry.
I saw your message. I don't know why the track of your is slowed. I recorded in the arcade mode at normal speed, so I will check on that. Yeah, because the track of your feels slow. I don't know why.
That actually might be on my side. Yeah, and then I slowed down the clip a little bit. I can check that in after. Actually, we've got a moment here, but I did want to run over who is in our lobby here today before we head into the qualifier. We've got Frostbitten, Ashen Forest, Onay, Kiki Wurzel, Powerade, Maddie07 himself, Nick, Makakowski, Lampert. We've also got G-Force, Famous, Stingox, and Kilabaris. And actually, Kilabaris was someone who I didn't talk about too much, but they were in, I think they actually had first place for a moment there in Museum 2. They had a great performance early on in Museum 2. We'll see if they can bring it back here on Port Limano 2. We do have one more player hopping in. I think we're under 16 though, right? I think we're right around 14, 15.
We have 15 people. Expected 14.
Okay.
Everyone should be here now.
Power 8 with the sub, or Power Straw with the sub, rather, not Power 8. The other Power, welcome in. Thank you very much for that. We got a gifted sub to Pokimane as well. Very cool, Syrup King. If Pokimane is checking out this stream, hello to you, Pokimane. Hope you're having a nice day. We've also got Ertsu making his way into the lobby as well. Of course, a mainstay in the Revolt competitive community. Good to see him make his way in. Should be headed into the qualifiers soon. Looks like Laggy Rock won't quite make it in. His electricity looks like it's out, possibly. And welcome in our first-time chatters as well. We got a couple first-time chatters. Happy to have y'all in here. Cheeky Chunk, as well as Gerby Grobedvile. Hope I got that absolutely perfectly. Hope y'all are enjoying the competitive Revolt action. We'll be hopping in shortly. If you're new to the RVEC, what we're doing right now is a qualifier. This qualifier will determine the starting position in our official race. I'm getting waved at right now. Dot. Is it a wave or is it a file? Who's to say? But regardless, we are ready to go. So, like I was saying, racers are going. They've got 8 laps to have the best lap in the race. First best lap will be starting off our official race. Last best lap, worst best lap, however you want to look at it, will be starting last in our race, as you might expect. Any initial predictions here, Pokers?
Maybe an easy one, but Stingox just dropped a world record just today, so maybe train a bit on the track. Yeah, he got a 38.511 on the tracks, but with a very weird line, so I don't know.
Okay.
But Stingox, I'd say, yeah. Maybe Nick, because he kinda liked the map. I don't know how much he liked the map, but the last time I speak with him about this, kinda like it.
All
and
right.
maybe Killa. I want Killa to have a first place, honestly.
Keela is who we were tuned into for the first lap, and they had an interesting route to taking the far right on the jump, ending up with a 39.265. We'll see how long that lasts, but it's looking like it's quite a good lap. Of course, it is just the first lap, so we've got a lot of time left to go. Stingox is who we'll tune into for the time being now. Sorry to interrupt y'all. Back to the race we go. Need to add some more mods in, but apparently, in the meantime, Stingox with a 39.169. He is just going to wait it out after wrecking on the boxes, okay. We got Famous with the 39.098, okay. Go ahead and continue flipping through our racers. For the time being, nobody too close to contesting here. Makakowski with around the third best time, 39.234.
Killa holding the best stuff for now.
Yeah, the first sub 39 we've seen. Kiki just barely getting under 40. Frostbitten with a decent time, 39.222. Now, apologies again, but due to the password, I couldn't quite set up our points, our live standings rather. So I'm going to get those in order while we have a moment here. Make sure all of that is in working order. All right, we'll go with that. All right, so our racers are just now beginning the sixth lap. Most of them. How are we feeling so far, Pokers? Any standout performances in the qualifier so far?
Not that much for now. We just have Kilabarus still the only one. Kiki just dropped sub 39.
Okay.
38.96. Frost with the 38.8, taking the first place for now. And as far as we go, I don't think anyone did another sub 39.
Yep.
So the three who have dropped sub 39 is Killa, Frost, and Kiki. And Frost being the first one so far.
Indeed. So that does look like it'll be our starting order, unless we've got some heroic efforts perhaps on our final lap. Lap 8 being begun by a number of our racers here. Asham with the 39.363. Kilabar is still holding on to that 38.956. Makakowski not able to beat his early 39.234 best lap.
And we forgot to mention that the racers have a hard cap of 8 minutes to complete all their laps.
Right.
Otherwise, they're
Right.
just disqualified.
Fortunately, it does look like the racers will be able to do that. Stingox not able to improve on that 39.169, not able to get a sub 39, unexpected from him for sure, since we were just talking about how he set the world record. Famous not able to get a sub 39 either. That was our top 2 for the week. Actually, you can use our handy dandy live standings to see the best laps as well. So Frost clearly leading 38.889, Kilobaris 38.956, Tiki 38.961, and then Fam, Sting, and G-Force with that 39.194. So that will be our starting 5 as we head into the main race. We should get a nice little infographic to be able to show you guys the full rundown of how the qualifiers went. Nothing too mind-blowing. A good omen for Kilobaris to be able to do so well in that qualifier. We still have Wurzel racing around. My apologies, Wurzel. Alright, he finishes up as well. So, again, for those of you who aren't familiar with the previous seasons of the RVEC, it has really been Frost and Famous duking it out for so much of the championship, but last week was a new note, a new beginning perhaps here in the RVEC. That being said, it did end in a familiar fashion. Famous in first, Stingox in second. But leading up to that point, things were very much all up in the air. Frostbitten not managing to find a super satisfying performance on Museum 2. We'll see what happens in Port Limano 2. Okay, well, while we have a bit of downtime, perhaps I can try... Okay, I do see you're streaming now. Perfect. All right, hang tight, y'all. We're just getting the qualifier results finalized, getting our starting positions all figured out, and then we'll be headed into a live race. Speaking of that, I suppose we could do some predictions. I forget how many people we can do. Try to get everybody.
10 if I remember.
Say that again.
We can do 10 predictions at a time.
Oh, right.
10 options.
Yes,
predictions.
yes. Okay, y'all, our predictions are live. I could only do the top 10 overall racers, so that's what I went with. We got Fame, Stingox, Kiki, Nick, Makakowski, G-Force, Powerade, Kilobaris, Frostbitten, or Onay. Who is going to win Port Limano 2? Get your bets in. Always interesting to see where those channel points go. Famous, always a good bet. We often see people go against him as well. Welcome in, Waddy Neck. Good to see you, buddy.
Oh, my pigeon is here.
That's right. Okay, so these are our qualifying times. We've got some pretty damn close gaps there at the beginning for first, second, third. We got a bit of a jump between third, fourth. Of course, important to keep in mind that a best lap time is not the end-all be-all of our racers here. It is much more than that for an endurance race. So much more of consistency and your ability to, yes, endure. That being said, always nice to get off to an early starting position, not have to fight with the back crowd, trying to pass them up, etc., etc.
As you said, you must endure the race. So you can easily do three wall bumps and succeed it. It's not that hard. Doing it for like 65 laps, I guess, something
Right.
like that. It's way harder.
Right. And that's one of the really cool parts about the driver Laggy Rock for me. He's not here today, but he is an extremely consistent racer. He's definitely not the fastest. He doesn't get best lap times. But if you look at the consistency graph, I think we've actually got it up here. His consistency, for example, in this last race was extremely green. You see him down all the way down in 13th place, but his consistency percent was almost 99%, which he's actually the most consistent racer for that race. So always very cool to see Laggy Rock and how he kind of takes a different approach to endurance racing. Unfortunately, due to, I believe, some internet issues, not going to be able to be here today. He's really the standout as far as consistent driving goes for me. Of course, we got people at the other end of the spectrum. I don't want to curse anybody though, so we'll just let that comment sit and not investigate it any further. Regardless, so we should be hopping in soon. We got a little bit of a break. Actually, we got a 4-minute break here. So make sure you get whatever you want, because once the race starts, it will not be stopping for 45 minutes, an hour, maybe longer. I'm not exactly sure how long it's tuned to be. The laps are still showing up as 8 to me. I don't know if Frostbin remembered to change it or not, but
Kiki's saying was the 3 to the left of my name. 3 being the prediction for Kiki.
there we go.
Very interesting indeed. The man trusts himself, and that's great.
Well, we love to see that. We love to see that. Always bet on yourself. If you don't, who will? Urak will, apparently. Shout out to Urak. How you doing, buddy? Got a Kiki fan in the building. We got an One fan as well. I'm sure we got a Maddie fan as well, getting gifted a sub. Once again, shout out to Syrup King. Thank you for those 2 subs.
I'm definitely a Matty fan. Don't get me wrong.
While we have a second, of course, a huge shout out to Frostbitten and Nick making Revolt competitive events happen. Wouldn't happen without the organizers and the administrators. So massive shout out for keeping competitive Revolt pumping. Of course, shout out to the community as well. Amazing community around Revolt. Time is ticking down. Gonna be just 2 more minutes.
Shout out to Nick for RVEC and Frost for RVSEC, of course.
Indeed, indeed. As well as people working behind the scenes. Kiki on the artwork. Thank you so much, Kiki. And you as well, Pokers. Picture in picture. And the track previews. A lot of stuff that you do behind the scenes to make it all come together in an elevated way. Very cool to see. We got Ama in here as well.
Yeah, he just dropped like that just after the qualifiers.
Okay.
So he's gonna start last.
Okay, good to see Ama in here though.
It's been a very long time since I saw him race. It's cool to have him here.
Yes. $16 really is a perfect number. I know it's probably not for our racers because when you get so many drivers in there, you get a lot of chaos. But from my perspective, at least, it's going to be great. That being said, if you get over 16, it's always kind of unfortunate because some people don't get to race. They get eliminated during the qualifying phase. So really got the perfect number here from a viewing standpoint. We did get the 68 laps switched in. Should be headed in shortly. Okay, so I am getting news that the drivers are going to align before the last turn on the straightaway. And basically, they're just going to get in a line. I'll call for go, and the player who got first will begin. All the racers will have the green light to follow after the first place driver. Well, no, I mean, it's not like the 16th driver can then just suddenly start. They've got to do it in a line, but you know what I mean. Okay, our starting grid has been posted or headed in. RVEC Season 5, Week 2, Port Limano 2, coming at ya. And our racers are off. Right away, Frostbitten on the wall bang, showing just how difficult of a race this is going to be. He gets knocked all the way down into fourth, has a very decent recovery, is able to scoot around Frostbitten on the U-turn. It is going to be Keela, Kiki, and Frostbitten leading us. Sting trying to nose his way into the podium already. Okay, G-Force on the outside, almost gets knocked into the water. He is going to recover. Makakowski right behind him. My eyes are on Frost and Famous, though, because they are continuing neck and neck. A battle for the ages certainly will unfold in front of our eyes for this one. Out in first, second, we've got Kilabaris and Kiki. I mentioned Kilabaris was holding on to first early on in Museum 2. We'll see if he's got what it takes to keep holding on all the way through in Port Limano 2. Certainly a big ask, though. We've got about 65 laps left to go. Let's not get ahead of ourselves like Frostbitten did into the boxes before the U-turn. Loses a couple of positions. Just a bit of a slip of the mind there, it felt like. Sting falling behind Nick as well. Ooh, Nick on the block. All right, flipping forward to our pièce de résistance for the moment. Kilabaris versus Kiki. They are 25 meters ahead of Famous. Thanks to that early slip up from Frost, they were able to gain quite a bit of ground, and they haven't let go of it at all. Give me just a moment here. Going to have to do a behind the scenes thing. Sorry about this. And we are back. Situation has not changed too much. Kilabaris has managed to break away from Kiki just a bit. Precarious wall bangs from both of them, but they emerge. Famous has fallen back a little bit further. Famous already starting to be on a bit of an island between second and fourth. Frost and Nick, neck and neck for fourth. Powerade, Lampert, G-Force battling for midfield. Bit of a gap between 9th and 10th. Maddie fighting it out with Ertzu. Makakowski has had a slobber knocker of a race so far, apparently, falling back to 12th early on in this race. We'll see if he can recover. Ama has moved up a couple positions. Wurzel, Ashen, and One in the caboose for the moment. He does manage to pass up Ashen. Ashen once again showing us how precarious that wall bang is. Kilabaris back to our front. We got a head-to-head cam going on right now. Kilabaris versus Kiki. 15 meters separating the two of them.
And Titi in the chat cheering for the South American boys.
Yes,
G and Macaco.
indeed. Representing Revo Americas. Welcome in, TT. Unfortunately, Makakowski has not had a super great race so far. Famous too far on the inside, flips his car. He's miraculously able to continue on, but he's dropping down into the red zone against second. Falls to 50 meters, doubling the distance that he previously was from second place. Nick able to catch up a bit. His battle with Stingox has fallen out. Frost occupying 5th now, Sting in 6th, Powerade in 7th, Lampert fighting with G-Force for 8th. And G-Force slides into the box, same place we saw Frostbitten wreck earlier on. Back to our head-to-head, Kilo Bartis versus Kiki. We got 15, 20 meters between the two of them. You can see that stone surface, really unique surface. Definitely going to need to be practiced. And it certainly does look like both these racers practiced it. Ilabaris on the boxes. It's been such a horrible spot. Kiki passing up into first. Can't get too excited because just a minor gap. That is going to be Kiki breaking in. Welcome in, Trollfix. Yeah, it does look like we have some stuttering. I tried last week to fix that. It looks like we still got some troubleshooting to do, but shouldn't be anything too major. The duel continues. I'm going to go ahead and flip back a little bit because we do have a race on our hands, a clumping of mainstays in the Revolt competitive scene. Famous, Frost, Nick, and even Sting as well, just a bit further back. Yeah, we had a repo on our hands. It was Famous falling back into 6th place. 50-meter gap between Famous and Airtsu. We've got a moment here. Let's go ahead and check backfield. Airtsu moving up into 7th. Lampert, Powerade. Lampert does get, or Powerade does get on the inside for the wall bang. He finds 8. Looks like he's able to hold on to it. We got a tricky section up ahead. G-Force trying to nose his way into a couple positions. In the meantime, picture in picture, we see Kilobaris just holding on to that 2nd place. He's got a lot of the pressure off of him for the moment. He's 75 meters ahead of 3rd place. There have been some wrecks. Lampert having a wreck of his own. G-Force trying to capitalize on it. Slip of the wheels into the wall bank section, plummeting him back down. Not too much of a change so far for these drivers. And just as I say it, a little bit of a commentator curse coming out just when I needed it. Airtsu falling back. He does manage to hold on to 8th place against Lampert. Going to be doing a great job at blocking Lampert while recovering at the same time.
And just as you said, Kiki just crashed into a box.
Wow. So, Kilobaris moving back into first. Let's head back to our head-to-head.
And this duel is very interesting, not because for the points it gives, but also I think these two drivers have never won a race in RVEC.
I think you might just be right. Kiki might have found a win at some point in early RVECs. But I want to say that he hasn't. He's gotten so damn close a number of times, but has just fumbled the bag in the very final turn. So we'll see if he can finally break the curse. If he's gonna be behind anyone, I'm sure he's happy that it's Kilobaris. Of course, Kilobaris is an insane competitor, but there's just something about the consistency of, you know, getting behind someone like Famous, and you're just like, well, kind of the mental damage almost that comes into play. Let's see if Kilobaris can etch out a new name for himself here with the winner of Track 2 RVEC Season 5. Can't get ahead of himself, though. He's got a long way left to go, but a lot of the pressure is off him. He's in the green, 40 meters ahead of Kiki, looking good. Okay, I think we've given that head-to-head a good amount of attention, but it does look like there is some chaos in the mix. Frostbitten has managed to move up to third place. I think he's been sitting there for a bit on the back of a wreck from Famous earlier on, but Nick, he got fourth place on Museum 2. He's starting off strong in the RVEC, and now he's challenging Frost for the podium. It's a great spot for Nick to find himself in. Sting has been very quiet in this race. He's sitting in fifth place, 35 meters back. Certainly has enough leverage to make his way back up to those top positions, podium, maybe even first. And as we say that, he sets a new best lap for himself on that lap. Right now, Kiki has the best lap in the race. Nick has the second best. So two of our racers who are doing quite well for themselves at the moment. In the meantime, further back midfield, we see larger gaps between our racers. A little microcosm here. Stingox versus Famous, running it back from Museum 2. We see Famous in a pretty similar position as he found himself against Sting on that track, 60, 70 meters behind him. We'll see if he can work his way to close the gap, or if that will continue to grow under his watch. Ertzu in that comfortable 7th. Lampert 8th. G-Force has moved into 9th. 100 meters between 9th and 10th at this point. Matty versus Ama for 10th, 11th. Makakowski trying to regain his footing out in 12th. Hasn't done a great job at recovering that so far, but never count out Makakowski. Ortzel, Ashen, One in the mix for 12th place. And then Powerade is actually 350 meters back in 16th. Certainly unexpected to see. Never count out Powerade either, but quite the circumstance that he's found himself in early on in this race. In the meantime, Kilobaris, super comfortable. 60, 70 meters on Kiki. We see the picture-in-picture Sting approaching on. Oh, Kilobaris fails the wall bang. That's all it takes. But it looks like, okay, Kiki cuts that lead in half against Kilobaris. He's not out of the woods yet. Still got frostbitten on his tail, but a decent position to find himself in. And this is the head-to-head of Nick versus Sting. Frostbitten sets a new best lap out in 3rd place. It's not going to beat Nick or Kiki's, but still a decent lap, I'm sure. And it looks like a wreck. Kiki has wrecked. Frostbitten finds a pass into 2nd place. We are approaching the halfway point of our race, but still got a number of laps left to go before that happens. So, really can't draw any super conclusive evidence from this, but it's definitely promising for Kilabaris to be 80 meters ahead, and also 2nd and 3rd place are battling it out. What happens when they're battling it out is you get situations like this, like Kiki wants to go on the inside, he does, he finds the overtake, but while they're duking it out amongst each other, it leads open to wrecks, just like Kiki had. That box has been the real silent killer. It's something we didn't hype up at all, me or you pokers both. Actually, you might have a little. I think you mentioned a slight wall bang on that box.
The just a needle turn here, so the box might have been the greatest killer. Over the wall bang.
So, it certainly has done a great job at killing our racers so far. Kiki's got some work to do at this point. Nick, he's definitely no longer in that comfortable position. He's got Nick and Sting both coming for him. I know Frost has had a wreck of his own in the U-turn. And so it's now going to be Kiki nabbing back up 2nd place for the time being. Nick is so damn close in 4th, and Sting is right behind him in 5th. So a whole conglomerate of racers hunting down 2nd, and that allows Kilabaris to crest over 100 meters ahead of the competition. Kilabaris, this could be a monumental moment in Revolt competitive history if Kilabaris is able to lock down 1st place, but he's got a lot of work left to do. Nick versus Sting, Kiki versus Frostbitten. Our races continue here, benefiting Kila, but Kila still has to have his head on straight, still has to nail everything, including that wall bang. In the meantime, picture in picture, we're looking a little bit further backfield in our double-digit positions. We've got One, Maddie, Ashen, and Makakowski did fall back to 14th. He just passed up Maddie. Sting gonna pass up Nick, as Nick looked like he executed well on the wall bang, but then bailing out on the turn after that. Frost versus Kiki, still for 2nd place. Welcome in Marule. We've got a Kiki fan in the building. Actually, we've got a number of Kiki fans in the building.
Including himself.
Right, including himself. So I gotta know, Kiki fans, are we happy with 2nd, or do we want 1st? I don't know. What are y'all feeling? Are we happy with 2nd here? He's got some work to do. Frostbitten out in 3rd. It does nail that beautiful wall bang on the box. It has killed him in the past. Twice, kind of. But he definitely is hunting down Kiki, not letting up at all. Kiki, in the meantime, has gotten to under 100 meters away from Kila, so maybe a slight misstep from Kila someplace along the way. You're saying 2nd place won't do it, only 1st. All right. All or nothing here. Points are on the line, Kiki. You got some work to do, buddy. In the meantime, I do believe this is a shift in our best lap. It looks like Sting now has the overall best lap time, has moved Kiki into 2nd place. I believe Nick is still there in 3rd place for our best laps. Very hard to look away from the second, third place battle. But it does look like there are some tight races for their midfield. Nick now sets a new best lap for our race, moves into first place, knocking Sting into second and Kiki into third. There is 1 point on the board up for grabs for best lap. Very important to note. 1 point may seem negligible, but it's certainly not. It has often been a tiebreaker, especially around midway through the championship. Those extra 1 points added on here or there can definitely add up. We see actually Kielbars might have moved down just a little bit more. I think that might be due to lap traffic, having to navigate around lap traffic. Power 8 set a new best lap for himself as well. Power 8 passed up Wurzel. He's hunting for more. Looks like we've got Ertzu versus G-Force in that picture-in-picture. Fighting for 7th, 8th. But regardless of who passes whomst, they've got 100 meters to go if they want to catch Fam after that. So Kiki versus Frost has been looking pretty steady. They've gotten through the most perilous sequence on the track. So I'm going to move back a little bit. We've got 4th, 5th, Sting versus Nick. Lots of Famous once again finding himself absolutely on an island, 70 meters ahead, 100 meters behind. But Famous is great at closing the gap on an island. G-Force on the surface, on the track, just getting thrown off. He gets thrown into some kind of tree stump, and he is going to get knocked down to 8. Ertzu with the clean pass. And I think it is time for me to look a little bit farther forward here, because Kielbars is only 75 meters ahead of Kiki now. Some minor accidents, nothing too major out of Kielbars, but certainly been enough to start to flip the script here. Kiki versus Frost for 2nd, 3rd, Sting versus Nick for 4th, 5th. That continues on, but I want to give Kielbars a little bit of a highlight here on our main screen for those closer races. You can check the picture-in-picture for now. Also, just a quick note for anyone who might not know, on the left hand, we've got the live standings posted. Huge shout out to Duck for creating that, so you can see in live time the standings. If you've got a racer that you're following and they're not on the screen, you can use the live standings tool. Kielbars, in the meantime, making that wall bang look easy. Got to be careful through the U-turn, but he does scrape through it. He's going to be holding steadfast to his 60-meter lead. Matt Rule saying the first step of RVEC is to have fun and be yourself. Shout out to you, buddy. Urak wishing he could send Kiki a bat. Well, while I was reading some of our comments, it looks like Kiki might have failed the wall bag, because he has now given Kielbars a little bit more breathing room. The battle for 2nd place has certainly heated up, as we see Sting, Nick for 4th, 5th, Kiki, Frost for 2nd, 3rd. They're basically all in a group for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. So a very volatile situation unfolding in front of our eyes. I have a feeling that Kielbars just needs to hold steady, doesn't need to be doing anything particularly astounding, and these racers will end up hunting each other down and causing a nuisance for each other that Kielbars won't even be involved in. It could certainly be quite beneficial to his race. We'll have to see how it plays out, though. because even when you're in those comfortable positions, that's when the accidents often happen. Nick still holding on to the best overall lap. G-Force set a new best lap for himself on the previous lap, but it's not going to get him into that top 3, I don't believe. Oh, nay! Accidentally blocking Frostbitten from lap traffic, and it's just going to be a meter or two. It looks like Kiki actually might have had a minor slip up on the wallbang himself, so nothing too major there. Got some honks coming out. I think that might have been Stingox trying to get by the lap traffic as well. Lap 38 of 68, just about 30 laps remaining. We have passed the halfway point. Nick has to find a repo, which knocks him out of the battle for second. Frost has a wreck on the boxes, and Frost has seriously not been finding the consistency that we have come to know and love here at Port Limano 2. He's had some, I think this is his third accident around that box section. He still got plenty of time left to work with, but he needs to correct those errors if he wants to find it his way further up in the podium. And also keep in mind to hold on to the podium, because we got Sting right here less than 10 meters behind him. So he needs to get that locked in. In the meantime, picture in picture, we've got our our first place leader currently, Kila Baris. He has, I mean, he's looking decently comfortable, but he has lost some more time. I will say 60, 70 meters for him ahead of Kiki. Kiki has held strong to second place. Well done by Kiki. Frostbitten too far on the inside, trying to cut it too close, and Stingox passes into third place. We saw a bit of a disaster for Frost on Museum 2, so I'm sure he's still happy with how the race has gone so far, but he is going to need to get it together, pick up the pieces if he wants to move forward a couple more positions, because I know he is vying for first place. Nick almost able to find the pass on Frostbitten. Famous still lurking in the mist here, 40 meters behind Nick in 6th place. You can never count out Famous, but that being said, it's certainly he's got some boulders to find his way over, through, etc. If he's got to find some path to victory here quick, because he's running out of time and out of space. He does have a very comfortable 175 meter lead on G-Force, who is occupying 7th place. So he's got at least got that going for him, but he's going to need some big money moves here if he wants to move his way up, maybe even find first. You really can never count the guy out. Also, something that I'm going to be trying to keep closer coverage of is the boxes section. It seems like so many wrecks have happened there, so I'm going to try to cover that. It looks like Kiki might have had a minor accident coming out of the wall bang. Nick is going to succeed on the wall bang, and now we've got the boxes. Kiki, slight wall bang. Sting, Frost, Nick, Famous, all looking decently successful through that precarious section of the track. Okay, so the plan is I'll show the next round of wall bangs and box smacks, and then we will flip a little bit further backfield. Kiki slowing down a bit through the wall bang. Sting goes full speed ahead and corrects his turning afterwards. Well done by him. Into the boxes we go. Sting survives. Frost as well. Nick powers through it. Frost, I don't know if he ran into Amma there, but it looked like he succeeded it. In the end, though, falls behind Nick. They've got 2 lap traffic cars right ahead of him, Makakowski and Amma. So, quite the circus unfolding in front of our eyes here for 4th, 5th. We got the wall bangs coming up. Amma will let them by. Makikoski will not. Now he will. Clean execution. Now let's see the boxes. Okay. It does, I will say, it looks like Nick has a slightly different approach to the boxes than the other racers, and it almost looks more consistent to me, much more safe to me. He kind of just doesn't go for the box wall bang at all, at least from my view. Keep in mind there is a little bit of a connection delay, etc., connecting from America to Europe. But regardless, it is looking like he has a slightly different execution. We'll look a little bit closer at that, but for now, a note. G-Force versus Ertzu for 7th, 8th. That is continuing to unfold. Lampert chilling out in 9th. Amma fighting with Makikoski. Makikoski did have to give up some position to letting the faster drivers past him. Ashen trying to move up in the ranks. One in 13th. Power 8 in 14th. And then we got Maddie and Wurzel. Moving back to Kilobaris. Let's see another round of wall bang into boxes. Kilobaris is going to be starting off the wall bang. Ooh, it starts to break a little bit early. Almost spins out in the wall bang. But the thing is, it's kind of set up to where if those back wheels spin in, he's able to just balance himself out of it. So I actually really like that execution. I don't know if that's a fail-safe or what exactly he's going for there. We'll have to continue to check that out. I'll try to do a better job of watching the boxes next go-around too, because I got so lost on that that I didn't catch the rest. We got Kilobaris still holding on to first. Nothing exceptional. Sometimes when we see Famous, for example, get into first place, he'll be like 400, 500 meters ahead of the competition at this point. Kilobaris holding strong, but only to about 60, 70 meters. Nails that wall bang. Sting goes for it. Now let's see Kilobaris go for the boxes as well. The box slalom as it stands. Yeah, clean. Let's see the boxes for Sting. Kiki. Nick and Frost. Okay, some clean turns for the moment. Nick and Frost still just neck and neck through here. Frostbitten. Getting a nice sequence, continuing to approach onto Nick right before this wall bang. And Nick does spin out, feeling a little bit too pressured from Frost. Goes big and comes up broke. He's got Famous challenging him as well down the back lines. Famous goes for the wall bang. The box bang, rather, we'll call it. Looking good. All right, we'll continue this line of camera work for a bit, at least for the main camera. Showing the wall bangs into the box bang. Looking great. Kilobaris has really just been absolutely nailing the wall bang. Even when it doesn't work out as well for him as he might like, he's able to recover. Going for the boxes here. Everybody, see, you see Nick doesn't even go for the bang there. You might be able to tell. I'll continue to try to touch on that, highlight that. But I'm not. I've been talking so much that I'm not sure if I caught this or not, but Frost is now occupying 4th, Nick 5th. I might be having a boomer moment with my short-term memory, but I think that is Frost finding a pass off screen. No. I was having a boomer moment. It's right at the wall bang. Nick had the 180, and that did allow Frost to find the pass. Indeed. But you can see, look at how well he's doing through the box slalom. Really putting the pressure on Frost, but running into the pole of all things, just a random lamppost he runs into. Very unfortunate for Nick. He's all that hard work, and he kind of gets dashed in a moment. Famous, though, has not been able to put too much together. Famous is still sitting back 45 meters behind Nick. He just hasn't been able to put the pieces together. Beautiful wall bang. Able to just accelerate straight out of that. No issues at all whatsoever. But for some reason, he just has not... And he doesn't go for the wall bang either on those boxes. Just hasn't been able to put the pieces together, though. Sting versus Kiki continues on. Sting is in second, Kiki in third. Head-to-head cam going on now. And you can hear just how close Kiki is behind Sting right now. Oh, Sting feeling the pressure. Wipes out at yet another spot that we haven't seen before. Kind of copying Nick's lead from a previous lap or two. And actually, it's going to be Frostbitten trying to move his way up. He's currently in fourth. Like I said, a ghost in the mist. You never want to count out Frost. Sting caught in between the two. Beautiful wall or box bang by Frost. Time is running out, by the way. If you haven't been looking at the lap count, we are approaching lap 55. We got 68 laps in this whole thing. Kilobaris did lose first, albeit momentarily, and he has just been chilling in first place the whole time. He hasn't been able to mount a large gap. You see, right now he's only 55 meters. The gap has actually been getting progressively smaller. So Kilobaris definitely in hot waters, but at least he only has to weather the storm for a few more laps until this race is done, and we can lock in a really monumental moment in RVEC history. There's very few people who have actually found first place finishes in the RVEC. Famous, Frost. I believe we had Sting.
Yes.
As well in the previous season. He was really coming up hot there for a moment. And he was in Museum 2 as well. But Kilobaris will be added to a very short list of RVEC first place finishers. He's got to finish the job, though. You can see Kiki's got him in his vision, which is a pretty scary moment. It's very validating for Kiki as well, to be close enough to see him, especially considering he was at one point, a good 100 meters behind. I don't want
to... The hardest part of the race is to conclude.
Yes.
Usually the 10-15 last laps are the worst because you're tired, but you have to hold on because the pressure put on the racer, etc. It's an horrendous moment.
Yes, absolutely. So we are approaching 10 laps left, indeed. So we'll see who is able to weather this storm. I struggle to not call Kilobaris a veteran, but despite how long he has been racing, he is a bit of a newcomer in comparison to some of these other racers, just in comparison. Certainly not a new. Oh, Kiki wrecks on the boxes. Stingux finds the pass. Kilobaris moves 70 meters ahead. Certainly going to be celebrating to see that. Can't have a celebration too early here at the port. No time for a yacht party until after the race. But this is a great premonition here for Kilobaris about how this race might finish out. And it's exactly what you said. Just the pressure. The pressure
and exhaustion.
And exhaustion, indeed. Exhaustion as well. Especially the box bounce. And there, Kiki falling prey to it once again. It is not going to be the ultimate kill. He will be able to bail himself out there with some nice recovery. He's still just barely ahead of Frost. But Kilobaris feeling great. In the meantime, a last moment check for their midfield before we really focus our eyes on the front racers. We've got Nick in fifth, 20 meters ahead of Famous. So Famous has not been able to capitalize in the later half of this race as he so often is able to. G-Force 200 meters back in 7th, fighting with Ertzu. We got Lampert on Island, Ama, Ashen, One, and Makakowski unfortunately falling back 1. One moving up a little bit in the world. Powerade and Maddie and Wurzel. All right. Sorry guys, I do see that spam post. Please just don't click it. I'm not going to minimize to try to delete it right now. There's too much going on the screen. We've got Kiki versus Sting for 2nd place. That battle is very far from over. Steve's saying Kiki nearly losing the podium from the same mistake 2 times, basically in a row. Yeah. We'll see. That being said, Kiki has been driving so damn well through this race that despite the back-to-back errors, he is still very much challenging 2nd, maybe even 1st. I mean, we talk about 70 meters like it's just the end of the world. I mean, it's literally one major mistake. Like, if Kilabaris's car happens to set on fire, metaphorically speaking, at some point in these last final laps, it could be very much be Stingox winning this, or even Kiki as well. Thank you, TT. In the meantime, we've also got Nick and Frost. Nick passed up Frost. Famous has fallen way back, 65 meters, 70 meters in 6th place. Nick and Frost, they were duking it out earlier on, I do believe. But they have approached one another once again. We got 5 laps left, y'all. Time is really ticking down. Sting holding to 2nd. We've got beautiful picture-in-picture work showing Kiki in 3rd, trying to challenge Sting. Sting wrecks Kiki on the inside. Thank you for covering that one. Kiki will move into 2nd place. Will he be able to hold on to it, though? In the meantime, Nick and Frost are both decently close to these racers. If one of them fails a wall bang, they can not only fall out of the battle for 2nd, 3rd, but could also be nabbed up and sent to 4th or 5th. We'll certainly have to see how this continues to play out. The box bang looking good for Kiki Sting. Looking good for Nick Frost. Kilabaris sitting pretty, 84 meters ahead.
Sting having a minor mistake here. Letting Kiki escape for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sting is going to be falling quite close to Nick and Frost. Keep in mind, y'all, we're using the MotoGP point scoring system. 25 for 1st, 20 for 2nd, 16 for 3rd, and so on. So you can see there's major point gaps up here. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. It's a lifetime of difference here as far as the point system is concerned. If Frost could sneak his way into 3rd, that would be like a 10 points or something ridiculous. It would be a lot of points, y'all, on the table right here for the pickings. For whoever is able to find the most stable and fastest, some concoction of that race. We are running out of laps left to do it with. Sting, Nick, Frost for 3rd, 4th, 5th. Kiki, still a decently comfortable 15 meters, but Kilabaris has set a new best lap for himself on lap 65. Oh man, lock it up and throw away the key. That is, it's got to be a victory for Kilabaris at this moment. In retrospect, hate to cast a curse him like that, but I think he's got just enough to have protection against even a commentator curse. We are closing up lap 66 of 68, and you can see on the main screen just how damn close all 4 of these racers are together. In the meantime, we've got the cover of a little bit further up in this conglomeration, the 3rd place being covered by Pokers. Everything looking good from all 4 of these racers. Sting is continuing to nudge his way closer to Kiki. He does not have much time at all left to do it with, but certainly going to be piling on the pressure as we head into the final lap. We've got the wall bang, we've got the box bang for all of these drivers. Let's see how this plays out. I'm going to flip forward to Kiki. Wall bang. Looking good. Sting. Decent. Nick accelerating out of it. Got a lot of firepower going into this final box bang. Kiki first. Avoids it entirely, taking the safe route. Beautiful play by Kiki. Just going to be playing it safe. Sting, Nick, Frost. Nothing has changed yet. Frost on the inside. Going to try to challenge Nick. It falls short. Kilobarz will be finishing any moment now. Kiki locking up second as well. Sting, Nick, Frost. Nothing changing. Famous going, wow, what an intense finale there. We ultimately didn't see any major fireworks on those final laps, but man, it looked like it could have blown at any moment. Pause. Ertzu in 8th, Lampert 9th, Ama 10th, Ashen. Okay, so we do still have a race on our hands here. Ashen versus One is decently close. Actually, One fails the wall bang. Makakowski's going to try. No! He falls down into the port, taking a dip. It's too early. You don't even have your swimsuit on, Makakowski. Please, man, finish the race here. We've got Ashen 11th, One 12th, Makakowski 13th. And it is looking like it's a done deal here, folks, for the remainder of our racers. I'll try to catch the very end here. Wow, what an insane finish.
Huge congratulations to Kilobarz. My boy.
Yeah, we didn't even get to give. Yes. So much action going on in that second, third, fourth, fifth positions that we didn't even really get to drive home how monumental it is for Kilobarz. Kilobarz adding his name to a very small list of RVEC race winners, going to be joining the likes of Famous, Frostbitten, and Stingox with that first place position. I say the likes of, but they're really the only racers who have done it. So getting in the fourth ever first place racer in RVEC, certainly a big moment. And Wurzel going to finish up our race. That's going to conclude it, y'all. Let's get the predictions closed. Let's get the driver of the day poll up. Massive congratulations to Kilobarz in first place. Kiki manages to hold on to second. He locks in 20 points for himself. Nothing to scoff at, that's for sure. He does beat out Sting as well. And that's after Kiki had back-to-back wrecks. It looked like he might have thrown away his race entirely, but he recovers and locks in second. I know he's got to be feeling good about that nonetheless. Stingox finishes up in third, just barely ahead of Nick and Frost. Nick finds fourth, a second fourth in a row, continuing his promising results from Museum 2. Well done by him. Frost does manage to scrape together a fifth place finish. Still a far cry from what he hoped for, I'm sure, but cleaning it up from what he had on Museum 2. We got Famous with a sixth place finish as well. Maybe if we could get someone to chime in on the rules, I'm assuming this is the case, but if I can just get clarification, are we taking the 7 best races and then we'll drop the 3 worst? If that is...
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
Yes, that's it.
So even a sixth place finish for Famous, he is such a good racer that he might be able to drop this race if he continues racing like he did on Museum 2. But uncharacteristic finish for Famous nonetheless. Still manages to scrape together 6. Not bad at all. Overall, of course, speaking. G-Force in 7th. Powerade moves from... I mean, okay. I think what happened was the radar bugged on Powerade. And I'm sorry, Powerade, that we didn't cover you more. But I believe the radar bugged with you because it was showing you like 300 meters behind in 16th. Or maybe that's what actually happened and you came back from 8th. That would honestly be... We didn't talk very much about that, but that would be an insane comeback. But I think there was a radar bug there. Ertzu in 9th. Lampert in 10th. Ama 11th. Ashen did move up in the ranks to 12th. Well done by him. One 13th. Makakowski Just not the most stellar performance there, falling from 12th to 14th. Then we got Maddie and Wurzel. Shout out to Go Terror. Welcome in, my man. Always good to see you. Hot Seat, an iconic Revolt series. Thank you so much for hosting those. Just an amazing guy. Thank you so much for that sub. Powerade. Maybe that's the case. My bad if so. But regardless, let's get. Do we have the driver of the day poll up? And oh, okay. I thought I just did a little doxing, but we avoided it today. We did an amazing job of anti-doxing today.
I was leaking the script to Ong, that's why this time.
So we've got Kiki is making the driver of the day poll. So guys, don't head out yet. Please do not head out yet. Stick around. Kiki just posted the straw poll for the driver of the day. If you tuned into the race, if you're a spectator or if you're a racer, anybody can participate in this. You will be voting for who you thought was the driver of the day. It doesn't have to be the person who finished in first, but it certainly can be. So go ahead and vote your heart out. I'll also remember to close the polls there. I don't think anybody put their money on Kila. If they did, they're certainly a rich man or woman at this point.
Actually,
I
think I did.
Oh, okay. We got some new money on our hands here. Interesting. Let me upload our results here. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to upload the qualification times again. Okay, let's go ahead and get those votes in for the driver of the day. Anything else? What do we need? Any recap, pokers? How are you feeling after this race?
One feeling I'm thinking of right now. The first race I predicted that Fem will go to 16th to first. This race has predicted that Kira will win. I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe some blessings.
Yeah.
Shenanigans
It's
happening.
some shenanigans.
So
right.
yeah, congrats, I guess. Again, Kira for the win, and I'm leaking the script every beginning of races.
Yeah, please don't do that again. We don't need the script to be leaked. That's the point of the script. Is that all right, so choosing the outcome. Someone actually did put 1K points on Kielbaris. Very well done. And so we'll complete that prediction. We actually had a number of bets being placed on a number of different racers. 2K on Powerade. 6.4 thousand points going to Pokers 72. Nicely done, Pokers.
I trusted my man, you know.
Locking it in here. Okay, it does look like most of our players have voted. Our spectators can vote as well, keep in mind. But it does look like those votes have mostly come out. So I'll go ahead. Of course, we'll show the full prediction next week at the start of the race. So this isn't quite done yet, but preliminary driver of the day. Let me just get this uploaded and we will be good to go.
People got gambling points today, Yoshin, yes. And it seems like 2 of them have won the jackpot today.
Yeah.
And your man just here, so
yeah, we did just a little bit of fake point gambling, because why not? And some people did indeed hit the jackpot. 6.4 thousand points going to Pokers. Insane. Let me get our driver of the day finally set up here. And to the surprise of absolutely no one, Kilobaris was indeed the driver of the day. We did have, I will say, we did have a number of votes going to Kiki, and I think those were well deserved. Kiki managing to hold on to second place. Oh, I didn't flip over to it. Well, Kilobaris won nonetheless. Kiki did get a couple of votes, and I think it's well warranted. Despite the mistakes that Kiki had, he was able to recover from them and have an excellent last few laps to finish out in second place. So congratulations to our racers. I've been kind of sticking around a little bit because I was thinking we might get updated points, updated results. Of course, that's kind of quick. That'll be kind of quick, so might have to wait until next week for that. But we can go ahead and do some points addition from our heads based on what we know. Give me just a second here. So, oh, I actually didn't take a screenshot of the standing. So we had it was Kilobaris first, Kiki second, Sting third. Kilobaris moving from an 8th place finish on Museum 2 up to a 1st place finish on Port Limano 2. So that's going to be knocking him way up. Kiki with a nice 3rd place finish and coming up with a 2nd here on Port Limano 2. So he's going to be racking in the points as well. He actually might be our overall points leader at this point with a 2nd and a 3rd. But we've got Sting with a 2nd and a 3rd of his own. He got 2nd on Museum 2 and then 3rd on Port Limano 2. And correct me if I'm wrong, did Sting have the best lap? We kind of had an upset as far as the best laps went at the very end, I do believe. I'll have to check back into that. But one mysterious point being awarded to whoever got best lap. It was either Sting, Kiki, or Nick. I don't think it was Kila.
No, I think it's Sting. If nothing has changed during the 2 last lap, it might be Sting to have the extra point for best lap.
Okay. And Sting did get the best lap on Museum 2. Sting is just, he's able to lock in those best laps. I mean, the man is crazy on his best lap racing. Like we talked about, he got the world record earlier today.
Sting didn't leave the spirit of cheating every map he came across. So.
Yeah.
Even if it was an endurance race, Sting, just remembering you. But yeah, Sting just doing the fastest lap as he can.
Okay, so we do have some final comments in the chat. I'll go ahead and read them out. We got Kiki saying, only went for one swim that race. I only caught one player swimming the entire race, unfortunately. It was Makakowski, so didn't quite catch that swim. But I hope it was a pleasant swim nonetheless. You still managed to find second, so maybe it energized you a bit. Saying he's very glad with how he did. You certainly should be. Sting saying second place. Trollern stole it. Oh, maybe some beef between Nick and Sting.
From Sting's perspective, I think Nick got the best lap on the very last moments. And that's why he stole the best lap.
Okay, I get it now. That would make sense. I mean, Nick is an insane TTer as well. Yeah. The man is...
The other TT players.
Yeah. So that...
Not a big surprise.
Yeah, right. Kilobaris weighing in. Welcome in, Kilobaris. Just recently added to that short list of RVEC race winners. Congratulations. Saying, GG's, Kiki and Sting kept me nervous during the whole race. Yeah, we noticed that you weren't really able to break away from 100 meters. You were at that 100 meter mark for a while. Started dropping down, all the way down to like 50 meters. I was like, uh-oh. But then you got back up 60, 70, 80. So just well done all around race by you. Congratulations once again. Maddie saying, I PB'd lap 1. I'll take that. Yo, shout out to Maddie. Cheers, my brother. And I guess, Pokers, unless you got anything else to add, and please feel free if you do, but I guess that'll conclude us.
Yeah, I just want to say a huge shout out to every racer who gave us this many spectacular show today. and for Kiki for the standing visual, and for you, Hank, for keeping the show ongoing.
Yes, yes, indeed. And one thing that I always forget to do something with this stream, but one thing that I forgot this week was to show the graphic that Kiki made for the overall season schedule. So if you'll hang tight with me for just another moment, I will show y'all that. Okay, so as you can see, Museum 2 is already finished. Port Limano 2 out of the way as of today. Up next, we got Game Room 2. Oh my goodness, I have memories, I have dreams, and I have nightmares of Game Room 2. Certainly,
It's gonna be a walk in the park comparing to Museum 2 or Port Limano 2, but can't be as spectacular as these two. So
yeah,
we'll see, I guess. I will see.
Yeah, we'll certainly see those giraffes in the game. Of course, the iconic kind of slalom. I hesitant to call it a slalom. Snaking through the arcade machines. Those damn stools. The arcade machines. The stools that the people sit on for them. Always tripping up our racers left, right, and center. And then you go straight into the vent, which is also just a scene for absolute mahim as well. So Game Room 2 is going to be a great match. We've also got Spa Vault 2, Venice, Downtown 1, Spa Vault 1. We got both the Spa Vaults coming at you. I can't even put into words how excited I am about that. I am a massive Spa Vault fan. Just go to the spa, take a look. It's going to be just a chill spa day. Nothing to get too anxious about, of course. We've followed up by Hospital 1, another amazing map. Santorini, which is it's kind of a mainstay in the competitive community a bit. It's a very old map, but it's also one that I look upon very favorably. It's got some twists and turns to it as well. You can lose a ton of time on Santorini, especially when you're driving on top of those on the bridge, the makeshift bridge of sorts. You can lose so much time. And our finale will be the one and only Frostbitten's favorite, White Rose Chapel. So that'll be it for us. Once again, huge shout out to all the people working behind the scenes. Frost, Nick, Kiki, of course, Pokers, and sure, myself as well. We're all bringing you this action, and it wouldn't even be a thing if it wasn't for y'all getting so excited about competitive RVEC esports. So thank y'all so much for your passion and your excitement. It's what makes the whole thing possible. And we'll see you next week, same time, same place, 19 UTC. Or if you're a crazy East Coast North America guy like myself, that's going to be 3 p.m. Eastern time if you're just crazy like that. But that's going to be, I guess that's going to be it. So
Yeah.
We'll see you next time, y'all. Cheers.
Cheers.